These things are special. They tell my story, see?
Leonard was a funny boy. He liked to keep old things, broken toys and rusty tools, even strings and springs. His room was full of clutter. Piles reached to the sky. Leonard couldn't let things go. He'd always wonder why, but others thought it was a mess. They wished he'd set them free. Leonard hugged his treasures tight. He wouldn't hear a word. His stubbornness was legendary. Some thought it was absurd.
Please clean up. It's time to make a change.
Mom, you don't understand.
Plenge was Leonard's mother. She tried to understand, but Leonard's room was chaos. It got out of hand. Leonard would just shake his head. He thought his mum was strange. Their arguments grew louder. The tension filled the air. Plenge felt she couldn't reach him. Leonard didn't seem to care.
You're being selfish. Think of others too.
But Leonard couldn't see it. He thought his view was true.
You're acting like a baby. Grow up and face the world. Let go of childish things. Your room's a mess. Your mind's a mess. This habit only stings.
Plenge's patience wore thin. She saw no end in sight. Leonard felt attacked and hurt. He didn't understand. Why couldn't Mum just let him be? Why make this big demand?
You don't respect me, or all I do for you. Your stubbornness is hurting us. Our bond is breaking too.
Leonard felt more and more isolated, unable to bridge the gap between his world and his mother's expectations. Section 4, the breaking point. The fighting reached a fever pitch. No peace could be found. Plenge felt she had no choice. She had to leave this ground.
I'm going to Grandma's house, she said, until you learn to change. Your pride is more important now than family. It seems strange.
Leonard watched his mother pack. His heart began to sink. Was all this stuff worth losing her? He needed time to think. As Plenge walked out the door that day, Leonard felt so small. His treasures seemed less valuable. They didn't matter at all. Section 5. A painful lesson. The house was quiet without Plenge. Leonard felt alone. He looked around at all his things. They couldn't make a home.
He picked up an old teddy bear, its button eye hung loose. Was this more precious than his mom? The thought seemed so obtuse.
Tears fell as Leonard realized the hurt he'd caused his mother. His pride had built a wall so high, it pushed away another. He saw his faults in clearer light, his stubbornness, his pride. They'd blinded him to what was right. He felt so bad inside. Section 6. The path to growth. Leonard knew he had to change, he had to make things right. He started cleaning up his room. He worked all day and night. Old toys were given to the poor. Trash was thrown away. His room began to look brand new, a change from yesterday. When Plenge returned, she was surprised. The house was neat and clean. But more than that, she saw her son had grown up, it would seem.
I'm sorry, Mom, Leonard said. I've learned to let things go. You're more important than these things. I love you, this I know.
The moral of this story is clear. Respect your parents well. Learn from mistakes, be humble too. On pride, don't ever dwell. Growing up means facing change. It's part of life, you see. Value people over things. That's true maturity.